Hey guys, in this lesson you'll be learning how to play Over the Rainbow. It's an iconic song from the movie The Wizard of Oz, and in this video we'll be using Jason Castro's version. If you listen to the recording, it's actually played on a ukulele, but it can also be played on guitar. So make sure you have the chord chart nearby and let's get started. This version is in the key of C, but we'll be learning it in the key of G. If you have a capo and know how to use it, you can actually put it on the 5th fret and play the same chords and play along with the recording. For this video, I'll just be teaching it without the capo. Since we'll be in the key of G, we'll be using the 4 chords G, C add 9, D, and E minor. You can also use a normal C chord if you prefer that. I just personally prefer to use C add 9, but if you hear me referring to a C chord, just know that you can play either variation. Also, if you want to keep it simple, you can just skip the intro and the outro, meaning the beginning and end parts. So totally up to you. I'll go ahead and teach the intro here, but if you're not up for learning it, feel free to just skip this part of the tutorial and then come back to it later. So there's an instrumental part in the intro before the vocal comes in. You'll hear it stay on the C chord for a measure and a half, so basically you'll hear 3 distinct strums before the vocal comes in. I'll be teaching you from where the vocal starts. Because the intro is just a bunch of oohs all strung together, you're going to really need to listen to the recording to hear where the chord changes happen. You can also count the beats if you want. Each chord lasts 1 measure or 4 beats each, so that should make keeping track a little bit easier. Since the strumming pattern for this recording is a little bit more advanced, I'm going to be simplifying it for this video. You can strum a few different ways depending on where you're at with your strumming and chord changes. You can strum once per measure like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can strum twice on beats 1 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can strum on each beat like this, 1, once again, up to you. I'll go ahead and play through the intro so you can hear what it sounds like. So let's jump into verse 1. We start with a G on the word somewhere and play that for a measure before switching to D on the word over. Now the change to the C chord happens in the little break between the words rainbow and way. This is where it might help to count the beats. So after you hit the D chord, count that out for 4 beats and then change to the C chord. We stay on the C for a measure and then we switch to the G on the word high. We hold that out for a measure and then switch to the C on the word and. After playing that for a measure, we switch to the G on the word dreams, hold that out for 4 beats, change to the D on the word once, hold that out for 4 beats, change to E minor at the tail end of the word lullaby. And if you listen to the recording, the word is held out, so it's like lullaby, I, and that's where the C change happens. Once again, you might find it helpful to count to 4 here to know when to switch chords. So the whole verse would sound like this. Then the next verse repeats what we just played, only with slightly different lyrics. Next comes the other section of the song, and we'll just call it the bridge for this video. So we start with a G on the second half of the word someday, so on the day part. Then we'll switch to the D on the word wake. As usual, we'll play that for a measure before switching to the E minor on the second half of the word behind, so the hind part. Then we'll switch to the C on the word me. Then the whole chord progression repeats for the last 2 lines. So that whole section would sound like this. Alright, so now you know the rest of the song. After that bridge part comes verse 3 and then a second bridge, verse 4, and then the outro. All the verses and bridges are the same, they just repeat. And the outro is the same as the intro, so you're good to go. Now I'll play through the whole song. For the first time through, I'd recommend you just listen and follow along on the chord chart. Then you can pause the video and try playing the first section on your own. Once you have that down, move on to the next section and so on. Once you feel good with that, come back to this video and try playing the song at full speed along with me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, that wraps up this lesson. I'll see you in the next one.